at the end he says, and from the envier when he envies. Envy is a dangerous thing. It really is. It's a dangerous thing. Why? Because what it is it destroys your reward because you have a problem. The first one with envy was Shaitan. Because he had a problem with what Allah had given somebody else. And this is what this society, it sows the seed of envy in us. They have a Western story about envy to show you the danger of envy. They say that 3 men walked up on a genie, and a genie comes out of the lantern and tells each one of them, you give me one wish and I'll fulfill it. Tell me what your wish is, I'll fulfill it. So one guy says, I work at this company. This guy got promoted. You know what I'm saying? I want my own company. I want to be a CEO. Okay, so he had envy for the person who got promoted. So he said, I want the company. I want my own company. I want to be a CEO. So the genie gives him his company. Second one said, I'm a student. This guy gets all these A's, A pluses or whatever. I want to get nothing but A pluses. I want to be on the dean's list. I want to be on the honor roll. So the genie gave him. The third guy was a farmer. Third guy say, man, the guy that's next to me, the farmer that's next to me, he's got this cow. And this cow got all this milk. And it just keep producing all this milk and producing. People coming from all around town, man, to get this milk. And all this milk. And everybody loves this cow. I want that cow dead. You see envy? Now, he could have just asked for a cow. That's the worst kind of envy, where he don't want he don't want it. He just don't want you to have it. You see, that's an evil person there. That's the one you want to stay away from. You want to watch that one. Because it's always envy. If Allah gives someone something, and that's why one of the men of the Prophet ﷺ, they told him, they said, the Prophet said, the next man that comes through that door, he's going to be a person of paradise. When he walked through, he was just a normal brother. He was making his prayers. He left out. So one of the companions looked and said, man, I want to watch this guy, man. The Prophet said he's one of the people of paradise. The Prophet speaks the truth. So he goes to the person and he tells him a lie. Now, it's permissible to lie for a good reason. And listen to me, I may have to deal with that subject, boy, because you just be saying, I knew I could lie. I knew it. Good reason, man. My wife, man, I don't want her to beat me up. You know what I'm saying? No. I'm talking about for the sake of seeking knowledge. This is what he did. He lied to the man and he said, why? Because he wants to study this man, see what is it about him that when the Prophet says that he's a person of paradise. So the Prophet, he asked him, he tells him, he said, look, me and my father, we have some issues. I need to know if I could just stay here for a few days. He said, okay, no problem. So at nighttime, the man's sleeping. And the man, Ali, I think it was one of the Sahaba by the name of Omar, he just kept looking and he kept studying. He think he's going to get up, he's going to pray all night, he's fasting during the day or whatever. The man just was sleeping, and then he'd turn over and he's sleeping. He didn't see anything. Second day, he's looking for something special. Third day, he's looking for something special, sees nothing. After that, he gets frustrated. He told me, he said, look, man, I want to tell you, man. He said, man, I wasn't telling the truth, man. I had no problem with my father, whatever. The Prophet says you was a person of paradise. I just wanted to study and see, what did you do that was special, that made you, entitled you to this quality. I see nothing in you. I don't see anything different. What's special? So he himself, which shows something about him, he said, I can't think of anything myself. Now, us, we'd have been like, well, I give charity every Friday. I give the thickest envelope on the first Sunday, we'd had about 9 things to say. He was like, man, I can't think of anything. So he walked away. When he walked away, he comes back because Allah had given him in his heart so he could give it to us. He said, when he came back, he said, you know what? He said, the only thing that I could think of is that when I go to bed, I have no contempt and nothing in my heart for whatever Allah has given to any other Muslim. I'm content. What they have is fine. What I have is fine. I'm good. He said, that's it. He said, and that's my problem. You see, he was able to recognize that, man, I got envy. I think he should do that. I think I should be in this position. I could be this. You see, and that's another disease in the heart. Thinking that you deserve something that Allah has not given you. I'm glad that came up. We're going to say that one again. Another disease in the heart is when you think you deserve that which Allah has given somebody else that He didn't give you. All the time, it's like that. All the time. I know artists probably deal with this all the time. He saw his sons and he on his sons. Don't put you in there. I wasn't going to put me in it. I got enough trouble. You see, this is what happens. You see, whatever, we supposed to love each other. Whatever Allah gives us, every single one of us have something to contribute to the goodness of the community. So therefore, use what Allah has given you and be the best at it. Don't think that you should have what someone else has, because know that every gift that someone has been given, there's an accountability. And they may not be doing right by their gift. Allah gives you money, all of a sudden you got money, and then you thought, you lied, talking about, if you give me money, I'm going to give charity, and I'm going to build schools and this and that. As soon as you get it, they'll be like, you seen Brother Abdullah? Anybody seen Brother Abdullah? He used to be here every first Sunday, but now he's not here anymore. Well, ever since he got that money, he in Las Vegas, right? And the brother said he was in Las Vegas. I still want to know, why was he in Las Vegas? No, I'm just joking. So these are the things that we need to pay attention to. When we see things that's in the society that's not correct, then we should be conscious of the fact that we have to have a certain attitude about it. That's very important. When we see homosexuality, every time I see some homosexuals or some gay or lesbian, I be wanting to say something to them. And sometimes I do open up the dialogue. And these sisters have to start talking to the women out here. Because brothers, we give dawah sometimes, but we can't be talking about trying to give dawah and talk about Islam to these sisters, because we're weak for that. But these women are really out of control in this society. So therefore, you Muslim sisters have a responsibility to start talking to these young girls out here, because they are out of order. You see, they are out of order, and there's nothing we can do. Their emotions, they got issues, they bitter, they angry, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of anger in the society. And this is what's going on now, So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I don't like to give long talks, I like to be succinct and concise, but I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow this to be something that could have been some benefit to us, something to cause us to reflect on, to take a look at. There's so many things that we could talk about, but let's just start working on the heart by reading more of the Quran, and not dealing with just right and wrong. I'm gonna leave with this. When Aisha radiallahu anha, the Prophet's wife, she made a statement that was very interesting, and she said that inna awwala ma nazala min al-Quran, she said, law anna awwala ma nazala min al-Quran la tashrubu al-khamra laqalu la wallahi la natruku khamra abadan. She said that now this is wisdom. She said, if the first thing that the Quran had revealed was don't drink alcohol, the people would have said, I ain't gonna never stop drinking. Okay, so that tells us that you don't start with teaching about Islam by telling people don't eat pork. You can't do this, you can't do that. People don't want to hear that. I've been eating pork 30 years, man. I'm still eat pork. And that happened one time where a brother was going to come to a Ta'aleem service inside the Department of Corrections, and I asked him to come. He said, I'm coming. And then some brother got to him and told him, man, you can't be eating no pork or whatever. And so the brother never came. So after the Ta'aleem, I asked him, I said, man, I thought you was coming. He said, man, I was, man. But one of the brothers came up and said, man, I can't eat no pork or whatever, man. And shoot, man, I just said, forget it. So I'm like, man, that was dumb. You don't tell nobody. So I told him, I said, look, next Ta'aleem, man, eat you 3-4 pork chops and come on to the Ta'aleem. Shoot, some hot sauce like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, expose him first, and then, and then start. You don't go to somebody and tell them what they can't do. That's ego. Nobody want to hear what they can't do. That's the reason why they fear their religion anyway, man. It's a bunch of don'ts and don't do that and don't do that. No, that's not what it's about. Once they love Allah, boy, they'll understand this. This is beautiful. Then she said, "Wallah anna awwala ma nazala min al-Quran la taznu laqalu wallahi la atruku zina abadan." She said, had Allah sent down, don't commit fornication, people would have been like, man, I'm not gonna never stop committing fornication. She said, "Walakin awwala ma nazala min al-Quran Surah al-Mufassila fiha dhikru jannata wan nar." She said, but what Allah did was He revealed those surahs that talked about paradise and hell. Paradise and hell, the next life, the unseen things. Hatta thabat qulubi ila rabbiha thumma, she said, then until the hearts became firm with the belief of Allah, then after that came the halal and haram. Now you can tell people, man, you don't do this. What? Allah don't like that? Oh man, I didn't know. You see, because now they love Allah. They believe in Allah. You got to put Allah there first. But you got to remove and cleanse the thing. That's why the whole shahada is what? La ilaha. There's negate first. You got to clean house first. There is no God. Now you put the purity there. Illallah. You understand? You got to remove and impure. Clean the glass first, then put the pure water. La ilaha means there's no God. Get all that out of the way. Illallah. That's the last thing that's left there. You see? So therefore, That's the way we act. Once we get firm in our belief, that's an individual effort upon all of us. Once you get firm, then you're ready to work and make the sacrifice. Don't talk